Welcome back to another edition of Rocky Top Rundown, your one-stop shop for all things Tennessee athletics. I'm Alfred Esmond.
And I'm Peyton Gravel. Today we bring you the final episode of Rocky Top Rundown with looks at both men's and women's basketball, a look back on Vol sports so far this year, and an in-depth look at our swimming program.
That's right, Peyton. But first, a bit of news to cover before we get into basketball with the Vols football team. Next, they'll play against the Iowa Hawkeyes in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl on New Year's Day. We are looking forward to that. And then let's move first into women's basketball. As this past Wednesday, the Lady Vols took on the number 18 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Let's take it to the Food City Center at Thompson Boiling Arena for the highlights. We started off quick Jasmine Powell 3 to give the Vols a 3-0 lead, but Notre Dame follows it up here. KK Bransford to the rim, laying it in. Next good pass here by Powell, finding her teammate down low for the easy bucket. And then here we go, a big 3 there to extend the Vols lead up 11. And then Bransford at the rim again, draws the foul and gets it to go. She was in double figures on the night. And then good kick out here, Tess Darby in the corner for a 3. Vols continuing to build that lead. Next, Destiny Wells all the way to the rim, laying it in for 2 to end the half, going on to half number 2.
On to the third quarter, Caroline Striplin receives the ball and fights the defender to dish it out to Jewel Spear, where she makes the three-pointer. Irish trying to fight back, and Kylie Watson with this textbook play to give the Irish 2 more. 47-38, Sarah Puckett turns the ball over to the Irish, and Anna DeWolf capitalizes with the points. Seconds remaining in the third, Anna DeWolf again capitalizes with the points after forcing the turnover. 4 seconds left, and Jasmine Powell drives to the basket for the foul and makes the basket. The fourth quarter proved to be a fight. Notre Dame down the court to get the shot off to take the lead for the first time. But that lead would be taken away quickly as Jewel Spear finds Jasmine Powell for the 3. With 3 minutes to go, Notre Dame is able to execute this inbound pass, another Tennessee turnover to allow Anna DeWolf to draw the foul and make both free throw shots to tie it up. Less than a minute to play and still all tied up, Notre Dame is able to find a way to take the lead. With 2 seconds left in the game, Notre Dame is able to get the come-from-behind win against the Lady Vols. The Lady Vols fell to 4-3 overall after the game against the Irish, but are ultimately 4-4 after their loss this past Sunday against the 16th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. Their next opportunity for a win is this Wednesday, December 6th, against Middle Tennessee.
On now to men's basketball, and the Vols look to end their 2-game losing streak that happened in Maui with a tough road game in Chapel Hill against the Tar Heels. Let's go to the Dean Smith Center for the highlights.
We open a minute into the game with some nice ball movement from North Carolina for a wide open 3. Next Tar Heel possession feels like deja vu and leads to another wide open 3. Look at that, and just over 16 minutes left in Dalton Connect really gets the Vols started with a nice take to the basket. He can't keep it going though, as he gets picked for an easy North Carolina slam to give the Tar Heels a 10-6 lead. Jonas Adu hits a nice 17-footer to make the score 12-15. That would be the last UT basket for 3 minutes. Dalton Connect breaks the ice with a corner 3 to cut into the Tar Heels lead. North Carolina finds another open 3 and foul down low on Zakai Ziegler. And man, things are just not going the Vols' way right now. Josiah Jordan-James knocks down a nice mid-range basket to shrink the Tar Heel lead to 14. But of course, North Carolina will find another open 3. They'll go into half with a 22-point lead.
Vols in the second half needing to cut into it, and this is a start at least. Here's Jonas Adu turning, shooting, and scoring. And as they begin to cut into the lead. But this guy's name was said a lot. Harrison Ingram for North Carolina. Huge game for him. Another 3 there. A big one to extend the Tar Heels lead. Dalton Connect cuts back into the lead with a big 3. And then here he is again, driving to the rim and finishing strong. 37 points on the night for Connect. A historic night for him, as it is the tied for the most points an opponent has scored in Chapel Hill. Unfortunately, though, the Vols lose 100-92. The basketball team will look to bounce back next with a game on Tuesday in Knoxville against George Mason. This was the last show of the semester, so we decided to take a collection of the top 5 plays from Tennessee sports featured on our show. Now let's take a look back across Vol sports for the best plays so far this year. We could get off at number 5 with Lady Vols hoops. Destiny Wells driving to the rim and laying it in Oh, a sweet pass there to Puckett as she dribbles all the way around the defense for the score.
At 4, we go into Neyland back in September, a matchup against Texas A&M as Dee Williams gets a shot at a huge return on a short punt and takes it the distance for a critical score. Now take a look at the replay here. Williams misses a bunch of players with some sweet moves to take it all the way to the checkerboard in this win against Texas A&M.
We go now to Maui, and up high and down hard, Dalton connects. Big dunk there off the lob from Zakai underneath the rim. Connect's been a human highlight reel so far this year for the Vols. His leaping ability has been on display.
Number 2, Lady Vols volleyball against, at the time, number 1 Wisconsin, and Tennessee gets not 1 but 2 diving saves to keep the ball in play, eventually leading to this huge block to win the set.
Go now to football here against South Carolina. Joe Milton airs a deep one out towards Squirrel White, who makes an immaculate catch down inside the 5. This was, without a doubt, the catch of the year for the Vols. Again, everyone in Tennessee loves the deep ball, and Joe Milton giving the fans something to love here. Check this out. Squirrel White making the catch off of his knee, it looks, and that was one of the biggest plays of the year for Tennessee football as they look to play their bowl game in January. Well, it's been a big year for Tennessee sports, and those were a lot of highlight plays to look at, Peyton.
Let's hope for many more highlight plays from the Vols in every sport for the remainder of the year. Finally, let's take a special in-depth look at the Vols swim program. Let's head down to the Allen Jones Aquatic Center for more.
So I don't think I really understood what I was talking about, but in our very first team meeting when I got here in 2005, I told the team that somebody in this room is going to make the next Olympic team. And as a matter of fact, Christine Magnuson was sitting in that room. She was a sophomore. I'm not sure that she, at that point, thought that she was that person, but she ended up, at the end of her senior year, qualifying for the U.S. Olympic team, going to Beijing and winning an individual silver medal in the 100 fly, and then a silver medal as part of the 4x100 medley relay for the USA. For most swimmers growing up with a vision of the Olympics as the highest level of achievement, becomes so ingrained within their motivational structure that it's just automatic almost to think of, when somebody is asked what their goal is, they're going to say, well, I'd love to make the Olympics.
I think when you think team goals, you're thinking short-term and long-term throughout the season, especially in an Olympic year. With it being 2024, it means a lot to a lot of different kids. Obviously, we have SECs, NCAAs, but we have the big meet at the end of the summer, right? And so last Olympic cycle, I directly worked with 8 Olympians from 7 different countries. And so I think as we prepare for this cycle, it's how do we manage not only their workload when they're in class, but more importantly, their workload when they're out of class and in the pool and in the weight room and the different activities that they do to kind of not only meet the demands of what it takes to have a successful season as a collegiate athlete, but set them up for the trials that they're going to have to go through. And I say that pun intended, swimming trials, but also the trials that it takes to be a maturing adult, right? And handle the pressure and stress that it takes to not only represent your country, but your school as well.
One of the reasons why I wanted to be an Olympian was I watched the 2008 Olympic Games where Michael Phelps won 8 gold medals. And I think after watching that, I felt really inspired. And ever since then, I just wanted to go to the Olympics and win a medal.
I think talking to Matt from the start, he always seemed to have interest in not only me as a competitor for the collegiate season, but also in the goals that I had outside of that. And I really appreciated that from the start.
Tennessee was really special because all of the coaches and a lot of the athletes on the team have the same goals as me. And really, the coaches wanted to see me representing Canada on the international stage and made that their priority because they knew that that was important for me.
It's just competition, really. I think that's one of the big standouts, just the level of competition that we have here. We're very fortunate to have a lot of international student athletes that come here, and that's been constantly growing over the years. And so the level of drive and competition has just gone up, significantly. And so I think that's one of the big differences that's really helped, us really gaining an advantage, as we work towards those big meets, and so that when we arrive there, we can really, just thrive and take off.
Training here helping me in a lot of things. We have one of the best swimmers in the world that swim with me every day, so it's always a competition, and it's always I want to win the race, he wants to win, so we have always good brackets with each other. And swimming a high level in the college, like, of course, prepare me for my next meet and my international meets, that World Championships, on Olympic Games, so I think it's a really good preparation.
This year I'm just focusing on improving my long course swimming and continuing to develop in yards, as well as growing into be a bigger and better person.
Something that is really great about Tennessee is that we have all these kinds of resources. So something that I'm really going to work on this year is like utilizing that like every single day, working on my nutrition, my sleep, my mental health, my technique in the water, in the weight room, and always striving towards getting better.
My ultimate goal in the sport, I think, is the Olympic medal, because Olympic gold medal, it's not any medal.
If I had to go like really ultimate, I want a medal at the Olympics, and I definitely want to try and make the final in the 200 as well.
What a great in-depth look at the swim team there. And of course, best of luck to any of our swimmers who make it to the Olympics. That's all for this season of Rocky Top Rundown. I'm Alfred Esmond.
And I'm Peyton Gravel. Thank you all for watching, and make sure to come back next year for more of Rocky Top Rundown, your home for all things Vol sports.